Hello students, today I will be starting with the new chapter, that is biodiversity and conservation. So let's start with it. Biodiversity, it is occurrence of different types of gene pools, different types of species, habitat, ecosystem, biome over the earth surface. So ये जो सारा variation है with respect to the species, biomes, genes, this is all going to constitute biodiversity. So let's write the definition for this. It is occurrence of different types, variable types of genes, gene pools, species, habitats, ecosystem, biomes. Now you will be really surprised to know that a great deal of biodiversity, it is present over the earth's surface, and to support this statement I will be writing few examples here of the groups which are really very much diverse. So let's start with the ants. Ants, more than 20,000 species of the ants, they are present. Then orchids, 20,000 species are there. Beetles, 3 lakh species are present. Fishes, 28,000. Now here I would like to introduce the name of one of the sociobiologists, that is Edward Wilson. एडवर्ड विल्सन ने बायोडाइवर्सिटी टर्म को पॉपुलराइज किया है टू डिस्क्राइब द कंबाइंड डाइवर्सिटी एट ऑल द लेवल्स ऑफ बायोलॉजिकल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. Means the diversity with respect to the biomolecules, diversity with respect to the genes, species, biomes. So this term was popularized by the Wilson to explain the diversity at all the levels in the biological organization. Now broadly speaking, there are 3 levels of biodiversity, that is genetic, species, and ecological diversity. So let's try to explain all these 3 levels of the biodiversity by taking suitable examples. So first of all, I will be starting with the genetic diversity. Genetic diversity, as the term suggests, this is going to represent the variation in the genetic information within a species. So this is a variation with respect to the genetic information within a species. So it is a measure of variety in genetic information within an organism, within our species. Now this variation can be there. This can be there with respect to the alleles. Alleles, you know, they are the different variants of the genes. This could be with respect to the entire gene, or it could be with respect to the chromosome structure. तो ये जो genetic information के अंदर variation है, this variation could be there with respect to the alleles, entire gene or chromosome structure. अब जितना जेनेटिक वेरिएशन ऑर्गेनिज्म के अंदर, स्पीशीज के अंदर ज्यादा होता है, उतना ही ऑर्गेनिज्म के अंदर बेटर एबिलिटी होती है टू अडॉप्ट टू द चेंज एनवायरमेंटल कंडीशन. So one of the benefit of the genetic diversity is that it will allow the organism to better adapt to the environmental conditions, change environmental condition. And the second thing, that the genetic diversity, it is the basis of formation of new species, or I can say it is the basis of speciation. So two benefits we can write here, that is ability to adapt, to change environmental conditions, that is better, right? And the second one, that it is the basis of formation of new species. So you know that is the formation of the new species, what it is known as. This is known as speciation. So let's write certain examples here. So let's write these certain examples in which I will be citing the number of the genes which are associated with the different taxa, different groups. So I am starting here with the viruses. Viruses के अंदर 10 to 150 genes, they can be present. So it means now the information which I will be giving you here, that is going to tell you the variation with respect to the number of genes. Now the second one, that is mycoplasma. So you know that the mycoplasma, that is the smallest bacteria. The number of the genes, they are 450 to 700. Then Oryza sativa, that is rice, the number of the genes ranges from 32,000 to 50,000. So you can see here कि जैसे organism की complexity increase हो रही है, so along with the increasing complexity there is increased number of genes. Now India is very much diverse. India is very rich in genetic diversity. So here I will be writing the genetic diversity information, one for the mango and the another one is for the rice. Mango की 1000 species present है India के अंदर. Then for the rice, you will be really surprised to know that more than 50,000 genetically different strains of the rice, they are present in India. So this was about the genetic diversity, that is variation with respect to the genetic information within the species. Now after this, I will be starting with the next level of the biodiversity, that is the species one. So now species diversity. Now the species diversity is the variety of species, that is the number of species and relative abundance of species within our region, within our area. So species diversity, it includes variety of species. Variety of species means number of species. So the number of species within our area, within our region, this is going to represent, this represents species richness. इसको हम कहते हैं species richness. Now second one, that is the relative abundance of species. Now this relative abundance means that is the proportion of individuals of different species within our area, that is proportion of individuals of different species within our area, and this relative abundance, that's known as species richness, species evenness, or species equitability. Now, what is this species richness and what is this evenness? To explain this, I will be citing one example here. Let's say ये दो रीजन्स हैं, दो एरियाज हैं, और ये वाला जो एरिया है, इस एरिया के अंदर 3 बर्ड की स्पीशीज प्रेजेंट है. A, B, C. 3 bird species are there. This is second area. इस second area के अंदर भी let's say 3 bird species they are present. That is A, B and C. तो it means जो type of species यहाँ पर present है, वैरायटी ऑफ स्पीशीज यहां पर प्रेजेंट है, वही वैरायटी ऑफ स्पीशीज यहां पर प्रेजेंट है. इट मींस इन बोथ द एरिया द स्पीशीज रिचनेस इज सेम. स्पीशीज रिचनेस तो सेम हो गई. अब सेकंड थिंग यहां पर हम देखते हैं, दैट इज द स्पीशीज इवननेस. लेट्स से ये जो ए बर्ड स्पीशीज है, इसके यहां पर 4 इंडिविजुअल्स हैं, इन दोनों का 1-1 है, और ये जितनी भी स्पीशीज है, लेट्स से इन सारी बर्ड स्पीशीज के 2-2 इंडिविजुअल्स इस हैबिटेट के अंदर प्रेजेंट है. नाउ if you now look at the number of individuals of each species, so you can see here the number of individuals of each species, they are same here. तो इसका मतलब यहां पर प्रेजेंट है evenness, that is species evenness. पर यहां पर ए स्पीशीज का नंबर ज्यादा है, बाकी स्पीशीज का नंबर कम है, तो यहां पर है स्पीशीज unevenness. So we can say here the proportionate number of individuals of each species, they are equal. So here there is species evenness and here it is uneven condition. अब स्पीशीज रिचनेस तो दोनों के अंदर सेम है, पर यहां पर इवननेस प्रेजेंट है. यू हैव टू कीप दिस इन माइंड कि जहां पर इवननेस होगी वहां पर स्पीशीज डाइवर्सिटी ज्यादा है. यस, जहां पर इवननेस है वहां पर स्पीशीज डाइवर्सिटी ज्यादा है. Now this question might be striking your mind, how the evenness is going to contribute to the more species diversity. Yes, this can be easily explained here. Let's say ये जो दो एरियाज हैं, इन दोनों एरियाज के अंदर रिडक्शन होता है, साइज रिडक्शन. अगर साइज का रिडक्शन हुआ, हैबिटेट का लॉस हुआ, तो यहां पर कुछ स्पीशीज जो है वो एक्सटिंक्शन शो करेंगी. अब इस एरिया के अंदर जितनी भी स्पीशीज प्रेजेंट है, उन सबका नंबर जो है वो सेम है. इट मीन्स द चांसेस ऑफ एक्सटिंक्शन ऑफ ऑल द 3 स्पीशीज दैट इज सेम. इन तीनों का जो चांस होगा एक्सटिंक्शन का या सर्वाइवल का वो सेम होगा. पर इस केस के अंदर अब देखिए कि यहां पर इसका पॉपुलेशन साइज ज्यादा है, पर इनका पॉपुलेशन साइज कम है. सो इट मीन्स द चांसेस ऑफ द एक्सटेंशन ऑफ बी एंड सी दैट इज मोर एज कंपेयर टू द ए. तो रिडक्शन हुआ एरिया का, तो उसके बाद हो सकता है कि ये जो बी स्पीशीज है और जो सी स्पीशीज है यहां से एलिमिनेट हो जाए. और अगर बी और स्पीशीज एलिमिनेट हुई तो यहां पर वैरायटी ऑफ स्पीशीज है वो डिक्रीज हो जाएगी. So it means when the reduction is there in the size, तो biodiversity loss होने के chances कहां पर ज्यादा है? जहां पर unevenness है. That's why we will say that evenness it is going to represent high species diversity. So these two things they are very much clear to you. Species richness means types of species, number of species, and this is going to represent proportionate number of individuals of each species, and where the number of the individuals they are same, they are equal, that is going to represent evenness. So this was all about the species diversity. Now let's start with the last level, that is the ecological diversity. So let's start with the ecological diversity. Now, ecological diversity is the diversity at the level of community, at the level of ecosystem. So, this is going to represent community and ecosystem diversity. Now, the ecological diversity, it is of three types. Yes, three types it is, that is alpha, beta and gamma diversity. So let's see what is the alpha diversity first. Now alpha diversity is the diversity of organism within a community, within a habitat. Yes, so this is diversity of organisms within a community, right? तो community के अंदर what are the different types, variety of species which are present, that is going to represent alpha diversity. Now let's see what is beta one. Beta diversity is the replacement, it is the rate of replacement of species along a gradient of habitat. It is rate of replacement of species along a gradient of habitat, or I can say community. Yes. इसको एक्सप्लेन करने के लिए हम यहाँ पर एक एग्जाम्पल साइट कर लेते हैं. सो सपोज करो ये माउंटेन है. यस, दिस इज अ माउंटेन. और माउंटेन के अंदर इस एरिया के अंदर लेट्स से एक प्लांट स्पीशीज प्रेजेंट है, दैट इज ए स्पीशीज इज प्रेजेंट. अब इस माउंटेन के अंदर अगर हम हायर एल्टीट्यूड पर जाएंगे, यस, हायर एल्टीट्यूड के अंदर जाएंगे, तो हायर एल्टीट्यूड के अंदर लेट्स से अब ये जो ए स्पीशीज है इस एरिया के अंदर एब्सेंट है. ए स्पीशीज अब इस हैबिटेट के अंदर एब्सेंट है. तो देखिए अब यहां पर हम क्या देख रहे हैं कि हाउ द स्पीशीज इट इज गोइंग टू चेंज, or how the replacement of the species is there with respect to the altitude. इस altitude के ऊपर ये जो species है ये present है, और higher altitude के ऊपर ये species है जो absent है. So it is the rate of replacement of species with respect to the altitude, with respect to the latitude or other gradients. This is going to represent the beta diversity. तो इसका मतलब beta diversity का मतलब हुआ कि कैसे स्पीशीज डाइवर्सिटी चेंज हो रही है फ्रॉम वन कम्युनिटी to the other community. So it means now it is not talking about the species diversity within the community. It is talking about the species diversity between the communities. That's why we can easily say that the beta diversity is the diversity between the communities. This is very much clear. Alpha diversity is the diversity within the community, and the beta diversity is the diversity between the communities. Now coming to the last one, that is the gamma diversity. Now gamma diversity is going to represent the total species richness. Yes, that is the total species diversity of all the habitats in our geographical area, in our landscape, you can say. ठीक है, तो जितनी भी communities हैं, राइट। जितने भी इकोसिस्टम है एक लैंडस्केप के अंदर, एक लार्जर ज्योग्राफिकल एरिया के अंदर, वहां पर जितनी भी डाइवर्सिटी होगी, स्पीशीज रिचनेस होगी, उसको हम क्या कहेंगे? गामा डाइवर्सिटी। सो इट इज द टोटल स्पीशीज रिचनेस of all the communities, or I can say all the habitats in a larger geographical area like landscape. So all the three types of the diversity, they are very much clear to all of you. Alpha diversity is diversity within a community, right? Beta diversity is the rate of replacement between the communities. And here we are talking about the several communities which are present in a landscape. उन सब की जो species richness है उसको हम क्या कहेंगे? गामा डाइवर्सिटी। और गामा डाइवर्सिटी को कैलकुलेट कैसे करेंगे? गामा डाइवर्सिटी इज इक्वल टू अल्फा इनटू बीटा डाइवर्सिटी। Now if we look about the ecological diversity, I will say that India के अंदर जो ecological diversity है, ecosystem diversity है, that is very high as compared to the Scandinavian countries like Norway. So this was all about the three levels of the diversity. Now here I will be starting with the next topic in this chapter. So let's see now how many species are present on Earth. Yes, according to the IUCN, that is the International Union for Conservation of Nature and Natural Resources, जो अभी तक अर्थ सरफेस के ऊपर स्पीशीज डिस्कवर हुई हैं और डिस्क्राइब हुई हैं, दैट इज मोर देन 1.5 मिलियन. So far the species which has been discovered and described, that is more than 1.5 million. इतनी स्पीशीज तो अभी तक डिस्कवर हुई हैं, बट अकॉर्डिंग टू दी साइंटिस्ट बहुत सारी डाइवर्सिटी अर्थ सरफेस के ऊपर ऐसी है विच इज येट टू बी डिस्कवर्ड. यस, एंड व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट द डिस्कवरी ऑफ द स्पीशीज, जो ट्रॉपिक्स के अंदर डाइवर्सिटी है वो ज़्यादा है एज कंपेयर टू द टेम्परेट एरियाज. तो जितनी भी नई स्पीशीज जो अभी तक डिस्कवर नहीं हुई है, ज़्यादातर वो ट्रॉपिक्स के अंदर प्रेजेंट है. एंड अकॉर्डिंग टू द साइंटिस्ट, जो टोटल डाइवर्सिटी अर्थ सरफेस की है, दैट इज 20 to 50 million. Yes, that's quite high, but more logical data it was given by the scientist Robert May. According to Robert May, जो global species diversity है, that is around 7 million. Right? तो इतनी डाइवर्सिटी अर्थ सरफेस के ऊपर प्रेजेंट है अकॉर्डिंग टू द रॉबर्ट मेट, पर इसमें से अभी तक कितनी हम डिस्कवर कर पाए हैं, दैट इज मोर देन 1.5 मिलियन. Now here I would like to tell you some of the important facts about the species diversity on the earth surface. जितनी भी diversity earth surface के ऊपर present है, उसमें से more than 70% of the total species they are animals. Animals की diversity plants से ज़्यादा. Plants they are not going to contribute more than 22%. Animals की diversity plants से ज़्यादा है. And amongst the animals, the group which is having the richest diversity, that is insects. So among the animals, the richest diversity is for the group insects. More than 70% of all the species of the animals, they are insects. More than 70% they are insects. इसका मतलब क्या हुआ कि अगर 10 animals किसी एरिया के अंदर प्रेजेंट है, if we are talking about any 10 elements on the earth, amongst that 10 animal, 7 animals they are insects. Now here, I will be telling you some of the important information with respect to the number of the species of different groups, like the groups which are present in the invertebrates, vertebrates and plants. So I will be making here the pie diagram to represent the proportionate number of the species in the different groups. So let's have some idea about the proportionate number of species in major taxa of invertebrate, vertebrates as well as plants with the help of a pie diagram. So first of all, I will be dealing with the invertebrates. So I am here making a pie diagram to represent the proportionate number of the species in the major taxa like the insects, crustacean, mollusk. I think now you can easily tell me कि जो इनवर्टिब्रेट्स है उसके में से सबसे ज़्यादा जो डाइवर्सिटी रिच ग्रुप है वो कौन सा है. इनवर्टिब्रेट्स के अंदर जो सबसे डाइवर्सिटी रिच ग्रुप है दैट इज द इंसेक्ट्स, right? So more than 70% of the animals which are present on the earth's surface, they represents insects. तो सबसे ज़्यादा डाइवर्सिटी इंसेक्ट्स की है, तो इसको हम यहाँ पर रिप्रेजेंट करेंगे. So you can see here कि सबसे ज़्यादा एरिया that is covered by this group, which consists of generally small size animals having high reproductive potential. तो ये हमने यहाँ पर इंसेक्ट्स रिप्रेजेंट कर दिए. इंसेक्ट्स के बाद जो सेकंड मैक्सिमम डाइवर्सिटी है दैट इज फॉर द मोलस्क. यस, सो सेकंड मैक्सिमम डाइवर्सिटी दैट इज फॉर द मोलस्क. तो ये जो एरिया है अब ये मोलस्क रिप्रेजेंट कर रहा है. Then after this, I am representing the crustaceans. Yes, this one is crustaceans. Then this one is the last one. This last one is for other animals which comes under the vertebrates. After the invertebrates, let's have some idea about the vertebrates. Now, in the vertebrates, the maximum diversity that is for the fishes. Yes. So, ये जो यहाँ पर एरिया मैं मार्क कर रही हूं. दिस इज रिप्रेजेंटिंग द प्रोपोर्शनेट number of the species present in the fishes. Yes. Fishes के बाद birds, then after the birds reptiles, reptiles के बाद amphibians and then mammals. This is the sequence. Yes. तो फिशेस के बाद अब ये जो एरिया है पाई चार्ट का, ये रिप्रेजेंट कर रहा है बर्ड्स की स्पीशीज की प्रोपोर्शन. यस, बर्ड्स के बाद रेप्टाइल्स. यस, दिस वन is representing the proportion of the species for the reptiles. Reptiles के बाद amphibians. This one. Yes, amphibians. और लास्ट जो यहां पर हम रिप्रेजेंट करेंगे दैट इज फॉर द मैमल्स, राइट? दिस वन. Is for the mammals. Now let's see what is the scenario in the plants. So it's very well known to all of you that the maximum diversity in the plants, that is for the flowering plants, that is the angiosperm, सबसे diverse, सबसे evolved group है, followed by the fungi. यस, और सबसे डाइवर्स ग्रुप प्लांट्स का ये यहां पर मैं रिप्रेजेंट कर रही हूं, दैट इज एंजियोस्पर्म्स. एंजियोस्पर्म्स के बाद फंजाई, दिस वन. Now after the fungi, then algae, right? The majority of the algae, they are the aquatic plants. Yes. Algae के बाद mosses, that comes under the group, that is the bryophytes. So here I am representing mosses. Mosses के बाद ferns, that they are the members of pteridophytes. So ferns and allies. Yes, this one. And this is the last one, which is representing lichens. Lichens, that is the symbiotic association between the algae and fungi. Lichens, they are dual organism. This is all about the vertebrates, invertebrates and plants with respect to the species diversity. तो अब इसके बाद हम next topic यहाँ पर start करेंगे.